Hello and welcome to another edition of TV Enthusiast Weekly Show, Marvel versus DC versus TVE. I am your host, Will Rohrig, the master of comics. Joining me today is the editor-in-chief of TV Enthusiast, Tyson Gifford.
Hello.
Hello. And today we will be talking about the latest episodes in the Arrowverse as well as Agent Carter. And also a little bit of news. Happening with the Marvel Netflix series and a new DC show that is going to be popping up. We'll get to that at the end. But first, let's talk about Flash. Okay, this was, I believe this, I don't even know how to this was the King Shark episode. Let me just get that out of the way. King, what's interesting about this is earlier in the season, King Shark showed up pretty much at the end of an episode, out of nowhere. And he was instantly, supposedly killed off right away. We find out that's not the case. Originally, that was supposed to be a one-off appearance because the producer said in an interview that they would have loved to do a full episode with this character, but the CGI was way too expensive. And apparently somebody at Warner Brothers or CW gave them the budget because they actually did a King Shark episode now, and this is it. Tyson, what do you think of the episode?
Well, most of all, I was kind of surprised at how little King Shark was actually a part of the episode. Because, I mean, he was probably, his actual time on the show and the story focusing on him was probably at least less than half of the episode.
Well, again, budget, CGI, expensive CGI.
I don't just mean his appearances, though. I mean, even the storyline related to him, which I'm happy about, because I thought when I saw the previews for this after the way that last week's episode ended, I said on the show last week, I was I don't know why they're doing this so quick. I'd rather them wait a week, get us a chance to deal with all the consequences of what happened and stuff like that. And from the trailer of the King Shark episode, it looked like an entirely King Shark one-off episode. But probably most of the episode was about them dealing with what happened, and I was happy about that.
Yeah, there was the Arrow show's tendency to go into oh my god secrets. That was the first thing that happened when they came back. It's Wells is oh no, you can't tell anybody about what you saw of them in another Earth. It's not important anyway because that's not what's going to happen to these people.
It'll affect the timeline of the future that's always in flux and not part of the... never mind.
Basically, Wells just said, oh, secrets for reasons. And it's, and that ends up causing some tension, with Barry not being able to tell Joe what happened and Joe getting suspicious that something's up. And then the same thing with Caitlin, where Cisco starts worrying that Caitlin is becoming Killer Frost because of the way
because she's cold after a horrible event in her life.
Yeah.
It's just give her some time before you assume she's going to become a supervillain.
Right, exactly. Yeah, just because she becomes a bit detached after her second romantic interest in the show died. Technically, she's had this happen to her 3 times because Ronnie died once, came back, and then died again, and now Jay died. I mean, I don't know. You gotta be completely emotionally fucked up if you're Caitlin Snow from that.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, Cisco.
I did like Caitlin fucking with Cisco when she found out that that was his issue.
Yeah.
And then her saying, "I hate that name," and him all freaking out.
He's like,
so that was funny. And I liked that Barry, ended up coming out with everything that happened with Joe and
yeah, Barry just coming clean with them after like all that speculation of like what was going on with him.
So at the very least, they did answer that, which was cool.
Yeah, instead of being like, oh, let's secret.
I also like that they put a little bit of a time skip in there, like at the very beginning of the episode of like they show the scene again of what happened and kind of the immediate reaction, and then you see like Barry just kind of running around doing a bunch of stuff and talking about how they're all trying to pull themselves back together after what happened and stuff. And then he says like, what, it's been like a month or something. Said something like that. But yeah, I like that they did that. I like that they're giving a little bit of time, like, because that was my huge concern last week, was like they're just going to drop an episode of the week right in the middle of this, and then they're going to suddenly, like, next episode be dealing with all the consequences, and it's going to feel like, wait, you were just like joking around about sharks and making shark puns in the last episode.
I know. Well, there was like another thing to this, of course, like King Shark was like the big bad of this episode, but also this was like an Arrow crossover too, because Diggle and Lila showed up, and there was like a lot of nods, like he's fast, get over it, and Diggle says, "I'm never get over that," or something.
And then later on, his wife is like, that is weird, or like he is really fast, and Diggle's like, right?
Right, totally. I think the actual King Shark stuff was serviceable.
Fan serviceable.
Fan serviceable, yeah, definitely.
It was a little fun to watch. I mean, it kind of like breaks a little bit, I guess, because like the way they're basically trying to imply that like King Shark is as fast in the water as like the Flash is, and it's like, no, a shark doesn't move at like the faster than the speed of sound and stuff, A shark in water doesn't swim fast enough to like travel back in time.
Right, exactly.
It's like, no. That doesn't quite work. But I like the kind of like the viciousness of it, like when they set up the doll, the really stupid looking Flash doll.
Oh yeah, I remember the really stupid Flash doll, and
but the shark just chomped down and went through there, so that was kind of cool. So it was cool stuff. It felt mostly pointless, but
yeah, it felt mostly pointless. And then you get to the end of the episode, and it's literally, I was kind of surprised that they threw this at the end of like a mostly like throwaway King Shark episode. Mm-hmm. I'm like, the episode had nothing to do with this, but yeah, they finally revealed Zoom's identity at the end of this episode.
Well, kind of. Because now it's like, God, how many of these are there? There's one that's dead. What's going on?
I know now, because Zoom's reveal made my brain melt. It made my head hurt so bad. I'm like, what? Because he takes off his mask and
it just raised more questions.
It's Jay Garrick. And we're already sitting here going, okay, well, there's Jay Garrick from Earth. There's Jay Garrick, the Flash. There's Hunter Zolomon. There's a guy in a mask who is most likely another Jay Garrick. And now Zoom is Jay Garrick.
Yeah. It just raises more questions. It's like, okay, now what, so
it's like, okay, so okay, my guess. Zoom is Earth 2 Hunter Zolomon. Earth 1 Hunter Zolomon is normal guy, I guess. Earth 2 Jay Garrick is the Flash. Earth 1 Jay Garrick is the guy in Zoom's lair with the mask on.
So you're saying Hunter Zolomon and Jay Garrick are completely different people?
Right.
They just happen to look exactly
They
alike.
just happen to be twins.
They're doppelgangers. Maybe they're like like adopted twins or something.
Yeah, maybe adopted twin. Yeah, maybe
And
they're adopted
the
twins.
reason Jay Garrick couldn't find his doppelganger, like the regular Jay Garrick doppelganger, is because
He's in
he was
Zoom's
kidnapped.
lair. Yes.
Yeah.
So that seems to make the most sense. I'm sad that it wasn't like Earth 2 Henry Allen as Zoom. That would have been like, I think that would have been like a much more emotional impact. I don't know about this whole Jay Garrick business. I don't think it has like any sort of resonance other than Caitlin like developed a relationship with this character, but like literally nobody else had like a strong relationship with this character. So I'm like, it's basically my feelings on it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's we'll have to see what they do with it, but is definitely a strange reveal.
It definitely was. Yeah, like at the end of this episode too. It's like I don't know. I'll have to see where they're going with this. That was
We're gonna have to wait till late March.
I know. I just read. I'm like, oh, okay. Well.
So Flash and Arrow both are going to go on hiatus until the week of March 22nd, I believe, and then they'll be back to finish off the season. Legends of Tomorrow is still continuing on. It's not going on hiatus.
Oh, really? Interesting.
And next week is the last episode of Agent Carter of this season.
Next week is going to be a light.
Yeah, next week's going to be Legends of Tomorrow and that.
Agent Carter and that.
Yeah. And then before Flash and Arrow come back, we're going to have Daredevil.
Nice.
On Netflix on
March 18th.
Yeah, March 18th. So literally like the week before. So
so let's talk about some Legends of Tomorrow because this was an interesting episode. This was Star City 2048, and things got a little crazy. What happens is they crash land in the future. In the future.
in the year 2046, Star City. And I'm a little disappointed that they teased in the trailer Deathstroke, and that what we ended up getting was like Deathstroke's son. So no Manu Bennett, unfortunately.
I knew it wasn't going to be Manu Bennett because he's on Shannara, and I don't think he's on like good terms with the producers of the Arrow anyway.
Oh,
I don't know if I don't know. That's rumors. Who knows the veracity of that? But yeah, he's got another show going on anyway. So I knew it was a long shot that he was going to come back.
Yeah, I was hoping. They didn't actually show Manu Bennett's face. So I didn't think he was going to be there, but I was really hoping to see Manu Bennett on Flash again, or Legend of Tomorrow interacting with Arrow again.
Yeah, right.
So that was definitely cool, and but we didn't get that. So what we did get was his son, which was, it's an interesting storyline that he kind of did an uprising, kind of like his dad tried to do before.
Yeah. Oh, and this time
was successful,
succeeding. Crime is running rampant. One of the big threads was like Captain Cold and Heatwave. Heatwave kind of takes control over this gang, and he gets like really comfortable in the future because like crime is rampant and he seems to be like in charge of all of it.
Hey, he's got a sweet fur coat.
Yeah, he's got a sweet fur coat and everything. And this is where you see there's a rift beginning to form between him and Captain Cold, because Captain Cold, I think, is starting to get more on board with the mission.
Mm-hmm.
And Heatwave just isn't there. What's funny, so that was like pretty interesting. Captain Cold ends up knocking him out at the end, and then we get a sense, we get an exchange with them at the end where we get a sense that there's definitely going to be like this rift, this tension between the two when they used to be like so tight before.
I don't know if I buy Heatwave's complete aversion to everybody else, because like Captain Cold, he was kind of doing the whole message of, it's not because I'm a hero, but they're part of our team or something kind of thing. And him saving Raymond at the end of the last episode and his kind of interactions with all of them. It seems kind of weird for him to be so immediately cold.
Right.
And completely cold without, like, to the point of being like angry at Captain Cold for wanting to, stick to the mission to some extent. So I thought that was a little bit off.
Yeah, I thought that was a little bit off too. Also, another thing about the episode was, how about old Oliver Queen? Old armless Oliver Queen.
Yeah, armless and with the beard. The classic Green Arrow beard.
Well, it's about freaking time, right? Oliver Queen needs to like get on that ASAP. But anyway, but like this was like another major plot thing where after they got what they needed, Rip Hunter wanted to go back and repair the ship and continue like his mission, but Sarah wanted to fix things in the future, and Rip Hunter kept telling her, well, it doesn't matter what you do because you're going to go back to 2016 and it's not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think like Rip Hunter says something about not changing the future, and then she turns it around on him. It's like, well, this whole
he gets all high and mighty. He's all, how dare you turn that around on me, even though it's exactly what I'm doing.
I know. Exactly. How dare you? I don't want to I want to save the world. You just want to save a city. It's like, okay, Rip. Okay. She got you.
Yeah. She nailed him down. They're still making Rip a bit too much of an asshole.
Yeah, they still are. They need to like lighten up on that. There was like some goofy thing going on with like Jax and Ray and Kendra. It's like the dumbest thing they've done. Like all of a sudden, they're all, hold up a second.
Well, you're home.
Okay, so I'm just gonna vamp for time a little bit while Will's busy taking care of some business. Let's see. So the episodes that we're talking. Okay, you're back. I was about to just vamp and talk about what episodes are coming up.
Okay. So basically, what happened was, like they had like a sudden romantic interest in her. And I thought, okay, this is cheesy. This seems kind of forced. I mean,
I kind of bought it with Ray. The fact that he didn't get any of what was going on before, and that once it was pointed out to him, he was like, oh, why not? I guess I'll try, or something. And then gets shot down, and he's all, oh, golly gee,
Oh, golly gee.
That kind of thing makes sense with Ray's character. For him to just kind of completely not understand that. But it was weird, like the whole love triangle aspect of it.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Hey. So is that it for Legends of Tomorrow? Oh, we also didn't talk about Diggle's son.
We didn't talk about John Diggle Jr., Connor Hawk.
Yeah.
Yeah, taking on the mantle of the Green Arrow because somebody has to do it. Okay, Diggle doesn't have a son in the show currently, but
isn't that his son? He has a daughter, right?
He has a daughter.
Oh, okay. So trans.
I know, right? I'm like, okay, so they just pulled this out of their butts.
Okay, so that means we get to look forward to what, season 5, another pregnancy on Arrow.
Yeah, on Arrow, right? Exactly. They gotta give Diggle a son now. They just did
Or
that.
Diggle will be the one in the box, and they'll erase him from history.
And anyway, yeah. Well, what happens is, they end up beating Deathstroke Jr. Oliver returns to being the Green Arrow. They save the future. Then they go back in time to fight Vandal Savage again, and I think that's pretty much it for this episode.
And he says when he least expects us, which means they're probably just going to go like 2 years after the 80s when he's most expecting them. No, hopefully that means they're going to go back further.
Yeah, hopefully that means they're going to go back further.
Maybe this is when we're finally going to get to what's his name? Jonah Hex. Maybe this is when we're going to get something like that. So, we'll have to see, because they said that was supposed to happen this season. So, we'll see if they do that. I'd like to see him go. Like I've said all along, I've been wanting to see him go further into the past. So that'll be cool. That's it for Legends of Tomorrow, right?
Yeah, that's it for Legends of Tomorrow. Moving on to Arrow. This was a pretty good episode. This was surprisingly a very good episode, and I wasn't expecting much from Arrow this week, but I was pleasantly surprised.
I'm kind of on the opposite side there. Yeah, I thought it was badly directed. I thought all the action scenes looked really bad.
Maybe, I don't know. I was more focused on like the actual plot of the show than like the episodes. There's like a lot of cheesy dialogue too, like a lot of cheeky references and nods. I especially like it stood out, especially when like Oliver said like I had an rather animated encounter with Vixen last year.
Yeah, I laughed when that happened. Yeah, definitely. For those who don't know, they did a Vixen Arrowverse crossover like web series for CW Seed before this season started, before this season of Flash and Arrow started.
Yeah. And it was an animated series. It wasn't like live action. This is the first time that this character has appeared in live action.
Mm-hmm.
No, I thought it was good because I like Vixen as a character. She was like a really cool character to add to the show. She has a cool power set, and she's not annoying. Like, I also found it interesting that it seems like they wrapped up the Damien Darhk storyline. They completely depowered him. They got him in custody. Well, I hope they got him in custody. Like, Oliver delivered a beatdown, and he was like on the floor, like, when the cops got there. So if it turns out like he's not in jail in the next episode or something, I'm like, well, Star City police are retarded. I mean, so it wasn't explicitly stated that Damien Darhk was captured at all, but you got to assume, unless they're the biggest fuck ups in the world, he's captured. So it looks like he's done.
Possibly, of course he's got this huge criminal empire, so
they could bust him out.
That doesn't mean he's going to stay in custody for more than 2 seconds. They
bust him out, but they destroyed the source of his power. So like,
yeah,
even if he got out, like Oliver Queen could just like bust his ass again. It's like, I don't know. He doesn't seem like the main threat of the season anymore, and so I think they're going in a different direction after this episode.
They could. It could also be a good if the other people in Hive find out about Damien Darhk losing his power. Obviously, he ruled Hive with like an iron fist, as we saw in the last episode. So
his wife,
if they know he's depowered now.
Yeah.
that could kind of change up the dynamic of things quite a bit.
Another interesting part of this episode. Oh, I another thing I want to mention is they actually like brought up Constantine again, and then Oliver was like, which I was surprised. Like Diggle's like, "What about Constantine?" And Oliver says he's in hell, and Thea's like, "Really? What's going on?" And, no, literally, he's in hell.
They're just getting to like the point where it's just stuff is way out there now. It's weird when you consider like this in contrast to like season 1 Arrow. Like nothing about superpowers or supernatural stuff at all.
Yeah, nothing about superpowers. Yeah, like big contrast to like season 1 of Arrow. Yeah, and it's like, and then, and there was like, and then there was Malcolm Merlin being an a-hole again, lying to Thea about his involvement in William's kidnapping, and then Thea finds out the truth and she confronts him, and like
he's just been a mammoth dick.
I know, he's just been a mammoth dick. And then he delivers that line at the end of the episode where he's like, "I'd rather you hate me and be alive than you love me and be dead."
But it makes me think, like, why is Ra's al Ghul so absolutely terrified of, like, if he's saying that he did this not because he's angry at what Oliver did, but as like a form of protection now that the League of Assassins is disbanded, what is this other threat? Is this what's going to become the bigger threat this season?
Yeah, he teased at something. He's like, you can't see the bigger picture of what's coming or something.
Because we're 2/3 of the way through the season, so
yeah.
I mean, are they setting up for next season, or is this more?
They're setting up for the rest of. I'm telling you right now, Damien Darhk was not the big bad of this season. There's something worse coming than Damien Darhk. Now that Damien Darhk's out of the picture, I think that sets the stage for this thing coming. I think that's going to help set the stage for this, and this is going to be the reason that there's a funeral and that Oliver Queen is swearing to kill somebody, because it's not Damien Darhk. So I think that is where the season is headed from here. That's what I'm interested in. That's what made this episode interesting. And then, oh my God, the end of this episode, Felicity, I want to strangle her.
Again. She's all, these legs are made for walking.
Well, she gets back right up on her high horse and she's like, oh, I understand this. But she makes it all about her again.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my fucking God. This is not all. She's like, oh. I'm like,
she's like, and you told her to leave with him without consulting me.
Without consulting me.
What's there to consult her about?
I know.
This has nothing to do with her, It's like, it doesn't matter if you're married to him. It's not your son.
It's not your son, exactly.
You don't have a say in that. Like, if my stepmom at the time, when I had a stepmom years ago before my dad divorced her as well, if my stepmom like acted like that, like she should have a voice in how I'm raised or something, my mom would have thrown a fit. She would have been so angry at the idea that she would have the audacity to act like, that she would have any say in how I'm raised or something.
Right, yeah, it'd be ridiculous. And again, this is another instance of Felicity just being ridiculous and turning everything around, making it about her, which is why I hate this character so much. And when she was like, she put her ring down and everything, I'm just like, yeah, bye, bitch.
Get out.
Get off of my show. Let Oliver get back with Laurel. I think Laurel was much better for him than Felicity.
Sarah was the best for him.
Sarah was the best.
I ship Sarah Oliver.
Okay, yeah. Sarah Liver.
Saliver.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, that's true. Sarah's the best, but she's kind of displaced in time right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sarah was the best for him. Felicity is the worst. I hopefully this is the end of this relationship for realsies, and then we could just get on with.
Yeah. Well, we know Felicity's going to at least still be on the show, unfortunately.
Well, yeah,
because we've seen her in a future tense already. But
this is Felicity season 5 after all.
Yeah.
We did see her in the view.
Yeah, God, and she looks just as much of a just horrible, annoying bitch in that flash forward as she does now. So
Yeah, so pretty much her attitude doesn't change even when somebody apparently super close to Oliver gets killed. It's like, I'm pretty sure that's all about her too.
They just need an episode where everybody gets together and they say, okay, look, here's the deal. No more secrets between this group. None. Immediately, even if you don't think it's a big deal, even if you're just like, I think my foot's itching, like, don't hold it in, just say it out loud.
I'm pretty sure whatever happens that leads to that funeral, Felicity makes it about her.
Yeah. It'll be like Thea dies or something, and Felicity will be all like, "You don't understand. She was like a sister to me." I was like, "She was my fucking sister." Yeah.
So
God.
Oh God. Yeah. So that was Arrow this week. Oh yeah. By the way, they save William. He doesn't die, but not before Damien Darhk forces Oliver to drop out of the race for mayor and endorse his wife. So that happened.
Setting up the villain of next season, Oliver's campaign manager, who's all bitter.
Yeah, who's all bitter. So that was Arrow. I thought that was like one of the best episodes recently. Tyson disagrees.
I think the execution was pretty bad, and like you said, the stuff with Felicity was just, it's so frustrating.
That was the worst of that part of that episode.
Yeah, but then like the action scenes and stuff, the direction just seemed really off. So yeah, I had issues with it. Story-wise, as far as the way things progressed, I kind of liked it. I also felt that, like, even though I liked that they revealed Damien Darhk's power source and did something that caused like a change in that dynamic, which is like needed to be done, I think it kind of felt a little anticlimactic the way he lost his powers.
Yeah.
So like it's I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it. I don't hate the episode like some of the episodes this season I have. But yeah, I definitely think it was very flawed.
I like Damien Darhk's reaction to Vixen stealing his totem, and like his it isn't like he just says, "Well, that happened." That's okay.
So yeah, and then he's shocked when he loses his powers. It's like, well, you lost your totem.
Yeah, it's like they stole your totem right in front of you when you didn't really have much of a reaction to that. Like, didn't seem to care too much.
Yeah, so like it's like I said, like I think there were some good parts of the episode, but I just have mixed feelings overall. My favorite part was probably Oliver saying that he had an animated encounter with Vixen.
Yeah, that was my favorite part. That and the Constantine mention too were like my favorite parts. Oh, and then like the backstory in the island. The island backstory, I guess, it's getting more interesting. They unleash like this power. I don't know what the hell it is. It possesses like the dead body of that one guy that Oliver was fighting.
Oliver killed, yeah.
That Oliver killed, and then thanks to Oliver's magic glowy like tattoo on his abdomen, like he is allowed passage into like this hole in the wall that they like freaking built that released whatever this is. I don't know what's going on, but it's cool.
It's definitely more interesting. We'll have to see what happens with it.
Okay, so that's Arrow. Now moving on to Agent Carter, we have like 3 episodes worth of material here to discuss.
3-episode marathon.
Yes, that
right off the bat, I want to say that it's kind of funny that they've done these 2 weeks back to back. They've given us 2 episodes a week, and then the finale is airing next week, and it's 1 episode.
Well, yeah. There's like 10 episodes. It's clear that they're trying to like get this done and out of the way so like Shield can come back. Is Shield coming back the week after the finale?
I should have marked that down. I don't know. Let me check real quick. Start talking about the episode and all the first or what's happened, and I'll be looking it up.
Okay, so basically what happened on Agent Carter was a lot of stuff happened actually. Hold up one second. Why is Firefox being dumb?
It is Firefox's way to be dumb.
It is. Okay. Well, basically,
so yes, to answer the question, I looked it up. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. does come back the week after Agent Carter ends.
Okay. Okay.
March 8th, I believe. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so basically what happens is Dottie got kidnapped at the end of the last episode we discussed, and she's being held by Whitney Frost. She's being held by Whitney Frost and Red Foreman. And Red Foreman tries to...
Red Foreman calls her a dumbass.
He calls her a dumbass. No, but he tries... Vernon Warner is the character's name, by the way. Well, he tries to interrogate Dottie, but he doesn't get very far because she is almost uninterrogatable, except for the fact that Whitney Frost takes a stab at it, and with her freaky zero matter powers, she manages to scare the shit out of Dottie so badly that Dottie just gives up everything to Whitney Frost. Like, just everything. And so Whitney Frost learns about Jason and what's so special about him, the fact that he's alive and that he's infected with the zero matter. And so Whitney Frost then decides that she needs to get Jason, and she needs to understand him and his relationship to zero matter to help her understand her own relationship to zero matter. And so that's what she does. She basically lures Peggy and Jarvis into an obvious trap as a decoy to distract them so that she can get Dr. Wilkes. And in the process, she shoots Jarvis's wife, putting her, sending her to the hospital, and it's all very tragic. That scene where Jarvis arrives and he sees his wife on the ground. I thought that was a very powerful scene. I was like, I gotta say, the actor who plays Jarvis, like his acting in these next 2 episodes is like it's really remarkable.
It's becoming kind of unhinged.
He's becoming kind of unhinged. Yeah,
I can't deal with what's going on. It's taken out all that kind of light out of his character.
Yeah, his character becomes like
James Darcy is the actor.
James Darcy, yeah, his character Jarvis becomes unexpectedly dark in these next 2 episodes because, like, in the next episode, she's in the hospital his wife isn't dead. She doesn't die, thankfully. Like, but it is revealed that she can't have children, and like Jarvis goes into like full on revenge mode at this point. Like they're making plans like on how to stop Whitney Frost, and all Jarvis wants to do is make sure she's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. And as far as stopping Whitney Frost goes, they come up with, or Howard Stark comes up with plans for this gamma ray cannon, which
turn Whitney into the Incredible Hulk.
Yes. Apparently, shooting gamma rays at the zero matter completely destroys it. And so that's what they plan to do. So they go out into the desert with the cannon in hopes to stop Whitney Frost, because Whitney Frost gets the rods that she was looking for, because Peggy Carter gives them to her in exchange for Dr. Wilkes back, which turns out to be a big mistake, because Dr. Wilkes then, holds. Oh no! They don't actually
They give
the
fake rods.
They give them fake rods. They give fake rods. But then,
because
Dr. Wilkes betrays them.
Yeah, because of that, he ends up learning the location of the real rods, and they get them.
Yep. They go back. Chief Thompson, actually, who looked like he was like on Vernon Warner's side for like the longest time, he actually comes around in these episodes. Like, he gets a file on Peggy that's supposedly like some major dirt on her.
And the little bit they glimpsed of it that they showed us looks like complete bullshit. And they later proved that it was like a falsified report.
Was a falsified document, and he sees right through it. Like, he doesn't even believe it for a second. Like, he goes back to Vernon and he's like, well, isn't this like a little convenient that you wanted me to like dig up dirt on her, and all of a sudden this just falls into my lap? And it's like, yeah, it is a little convenient. And Vernon's like trying to say, well, it's
so I'll just use it, dumbass.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, he's like, just use it, dumbass. Doesn't matter if it's true or not. It's on official documents that makes it true. And he's just like, nah, I'm gonna be a good guy again.
So he tries to stop Vernon, tries to stop Red Foreman, but then Agent Carter arrives to find him confused and not knowing why he's in the room where the cores were, because he's had that device that was used countless times on Laura Palmer's dad. Has been used on him. So
right. And so basically they get him to remember like what he was there for in the first place, and then they go and then they go out, but they go out to the desert, but it's too late, because Whitney Frost they have already recreated the experiment and brought back the zero matter.
We got to see the crack in reality again.
Yeah, and Whitney Frost runs out there with Dr. Wilkes. Whitney Frost is sitting there like with bated breath, just waiting for something amazing to happen to her that she just knows is going to happen to her. And all it does is it sucks in Dr. Wilkes, and the zero matter kind of forsakes Whitney Frost in favor of him, which upsets her. And then they shoot the gamma ray into the zero matter, destroying it. Dr. Wilkes actually ends up surviving. He ends up in the crater that is left after the zero matter is destroyed. And this time he is just like bursting to the seams with zero matter, it seems.
His eyes are black. And
it's just like, And so Whitney Frost keeps him around because now he's full of the zero matter that she wants, that she desperately craves.
And he finally realizes that going with Whitney was the wrong thing because he's like, you need to get me away from where there's people. Like,
yeah,
he's basically like a time bomb. He's like a ticking time bomb that's like wherever they take him, and he wants to get desperately away from civilization.
Whitney Frost kidnaps
so that he can't hurt people.
Peggy, Carter, and Jarvis because she's keeping them alive as collateral to make Dr. Wilkes do what she wants him to do. They end up escaping because Peggy Carter has a
badass tool.
Has a badass tool. They end up escaping.
Whitney, I want one of those. I want to pull out like a superheated wire from my belt.
Whitney Frost tries to extract the zero matter from Dr. Wilkes, but it won't come out no matter what she does.
Mm-hmm. She's trying to like physically extract it with like needles and
it's just not happening. It's just not. She can't remove it from him, which is making her more and more frustrated. They then at the end there, Jack Thompson and Peggy Carter and everybody, they come together with Vernon Warner on a plan to kill Whitney Frost using the gamma cannon. Only Jack Thompson seems to betray them because he sells out the plan to Whitney Frost. Tells Whitney Frost what Vernon Warner is going to do with the gamma cannon.
He's double agenting that.
Yeah, he's double agenting.
He's playing everyone, including Emma Whitney Frost.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's trying to kill off Whitney as well as the good doctor.
Yeah.
But Peggy wants to save the good doctor, so she's not on board for that. So he tricks her, disables her car so she can't go when he takes off.
She can't go when he takes off. Yeah.
Has the scientist guy from the SSR turn the core of the gamma cannon into like a bomb, so that instead of like firing a ray, it explodes.
It'll explode, yeah, killing everybody in there. And I think where did it all end? I can't remember like the ending now.
Well, what happened was the Whitney Frost killed who was it?
Vernon?
Killed Vernon.
Yeah.
Or was in the process of killing him when the doctor came in to unleash his dark matter everything on Whitney, basically to take her out, you know?
Yeah.
Like he was trying to get everybody to get away from him, and that was kind of like he couldn't hold it anymore, so he just kind of gave in to the dark matter like right in front of her.
Yeah.
And then the bomb like went off or something.
Oh, that's right. The bomb did go off at the end. So that's where we are with Agent Carter. Next week is the finale, where everything will be wrapped up.
It's called Hollywood Ending, which is perfect because they're in Hollywood.
Yeah, because they're in Hollywood, so that's perfect. So I'm looking forward to that.
Can we talk a little bit about some of the art stuff from the episodes? Because, like, what did you think of the dance number in Peggy's Dream?
Oh, that's right.
The musical bit.
I don't know. I didn't care for it too much.
It wasn't that great. They could have done it better. I like the staging of it. I don't think that the songs were that great.
The staging was good. Yeah, the songs weren't that great. I felt it was kind of an annoyance, a hindrance, considering like what we were going off from at the end of that episode. I like kind of wanted to just get on with the plot. I
did like the end of it though, when Jarvis was like, when it cut to Jarvis and he's like, "Wake up,
yeah, wake up, wake up." Yeah, that was cool. I don't know. I wasn't feeling that part of it. What else was there?
That's kind of like the most notable like off thing. We could talk a little bit more about Jarvis's wife and it looked like Jarvis, he was trying to keep it a secret from her that she couldn't have kids.
Yeah,
the last scene we got with them, he seemed to be telling her. We didn't actually see.
Yeah, because he realized he realized he shouldn't be keeping that a secret. Like towards the end there, you know, he kind of admitted that she didn't like when he was walking with Peggy in the desert, and she was upset with him for like shooting Whitney Frost. That happened. Like, yeah, Jarvis like literally attempts to murder Whitney Frost in cold blood.
Yeah, shoots her.
Which is a huge break for his character so far. You know, it's like, whoa. That pisses Peggy off to no end. She gets like so angry at Jarvis, and so like they're walking in the desert, and she's upset with him. And then that's when he admits, you know, what happened to his wife, that she can't bear children, and he admits to Peggy that he didn't tell her, and that he's a stupid jerk for not telling her.
Calls himself a coward, I believe.
He calls himself a coward. So yeah, it looked like he was telling her. So it's a good thing that this wasn't like some dragged out. Let's keep a secret thing, because
they're not doing the Arrow thing. Yeah,
they're not doing the Arrow thing. If it was Oliver Queen, that would have been a secret for like 5 seasons until like Felicity turned it around and made it about herself.
and then miraculously was finally able to walk and uses her ability to walk to leave.
That was like the most ridiculous thing ever. Like literally after that speech, she like regains her ability to walk, and instead of like anything, like not even like acknowledging it, she just walks out of the room. It's like, I was like, what, Arrow?
That was total drama queen move on her part.
That was. I hate that part. Oh my god. But
so what do you think we have coming forward for Agent Carter for the finale here? What do you think we're getting?
I think we're getting. Well, we already got the song and dance number. I don't know. I think we're getting the end of Whitney Frost. Dottie is going to come in and probably do something to set, and it's probably going to be like more set up for next season.
There probably isn't going to be a next season from what it looks like. Haley Atwell's got another show, a pilot in production at ABC as well. So it's looking less likely that there's going to be a 3rd season of Agent Carter. It's a very expensive show, and it hasn't apparently done all that well in the ratings. It was kind of miraculous that it got a 2nd season.
Okay, yeah, I heard this wasn't doing as well. I was being nice when I said set up for next season.
Yeah. It could be a setup for next season that never happens.
Right.
But yeah, it's unlikely we're actually going to get a 3rd season. But yeah, I could see that, them setting up Dottie as being a player for the next season and having her be set loose again. Yeah, and I hope they end Whitney Frost.
Yeah, they're gonna end.
I hope they give like some real conclusion to that, especially with the name Hollywood ending. I hope they do like a really cool kind of, you know, big finale kind of moment thing, you know, where she gets her last moment to shine and then she's gone or something. That would be really kind of cool, fitting with the tropes of the season so far.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Yeah. Otherwise, I don't know. I mean, we'll have to see what happened with that gamma bomb and how that affected everybody and what's going to happen from there. It's interesting.
Gamma bomb.
So, hello, Whitney. Hello, Peg.
Yes, yeah.
Gamma bomb.
Yeah. So that's Agent Carter. Looking forward to that finale. We'll talk about that next week. Should be some exciting stuff. now we got some news to talk about. Like, stuff happened, so we got to talk about it. And
some big news.
the big news: Iron Fist is cast.
That's right.
You know that show that supposedly that was going to be canceled because they couldn't figure out how to do Iron Fist. You know, if you listen to BS rumors from BS rumor mongers, then
we talked about it before on this show. We talked about how like we could see why they might not do it, but it was kind of like it was such like a heavy-handed rumor that kind of came out of nowhere with no real credibility.
Right, exactly.
Just because they hadn't talked about it, but I mean, it made sense that they hadn't talked about it because they didn't talk about Luke Cage until they started casting Jessica Jones. You know.
Speaking of the BS rumor mongers, there was like another thing that came out like a couple weeks back that was hilarious. Like rumors came out that DC was putting their entire cinematic universe on hold and switching everything up because they started losing confidence in Batman versus Superman.
I was hearing a lot of that, yeah.
And they were like, oh, well, the whole cinematic universe is on hold. They're switching everything up. A week later, it was announced that Justice League had officially gone into production. It was like, okay.
Yeah, complete rumor.
People are making themselves look stupider and stupider every minute with like these dumb rumors.
It's just their anxieties and fears, and they're kind of taking their anxieties as like a hint that something's happening. And it's like, you're not psychic.
Yeah.
You don't have a psychic power. You just felt anxious.
Yeah, you just felt anxious. It's like, calm down. Everything's fine. I mean,
back on Iron Fist, though, we didn't talk about who was cast.
Well, we did, yeah. Ryan Phillippe. No, it wasn't him. It was Sir Loris Tyrell. I actually don't know the actor's name.
The actor's name is Finn Jones.
Oh, Finn Jones, which is Finn Jones sounds like an RPG protagonist name.
Or like a really early version of Aquaman.
Yeah, yeah, I know, right? Finn Jones. I don't know anything about the actor outside of his performance in Game of Thrones. He does
where he's constantly naked having sex with other men.
he does a decent job on that show, I guess. So he certainly looks the part of Danny Rand. I'll say that.
Yeah, he's got that Ryan Phillippe look, which Ryan Phillippe was one of the actors that people were thinking might be cast for Iron Fist just because he looks like the character, and he's got like a black belt in Taekwondo, so he's already down with some martial arts. But when they got Finn Jones for the role, the first thing that popped into my head was he looks very Phillippe-esque.
Yeah, so they were looking for a Ryan Phillippe type at least.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. That means that if they're doing casting for Iron Fist, that means it's about to go into production. So very exciting there. Next, we have a new DC show has also begun casting. It's Powerless, which I think is going to be on NBC, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
Okay. It's a new NBC comedy. It's in the vein of The Office, except this time it's The Office with superheroes, apparently.
And they're insurance adjusters, I believe.
They're insurance adjusters. And the cool thing is this isn't just like a generic show. Like, this isn't like superheroes in the generic sense where they're going to create their own. This is actually set in the DC universe. So
yeah,
yeah.
It seems to maybe not be connected to either the film or the TV universe, though, but just more to the general comic book universe.
Right.
Which means they can kind of call upon references from anything.
It's going to be its own thing, like Gotham is its own thing, you know.
Yeah.
But the big news is like the casting. They cast Vanessa Hudgens as a character named Emily Locke.
She's like the central, like the protagonist.
No relation to John Locke, or maybe.
If only.
If
That would be
only.
amazing.
Let's tie this into Lost.
Everything ties into Lost. So yeah, it's Vanessa Hudgens, who most people know from High School Musical. Since then, she was in that Grease Live thing that they recently did on TV.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So that's the most recent thing she's done.
Danny Pudi, who was in Community as Abed, hilarious actor. He's
cool.
He's going to be playing Teddy, Emily's prank-pulling work friend. And who would play a better prank-pulling work friend than Danny Pudi, really? I mean, this is
Not bad,
yeah. Alan Tudyk, Firefly. Oh, he's their tyrannical boss. Oh my God. Alan Tudyk sounds so perfect for this. I can see him just being like this clueless asshole. And like doing
apparently he's he got his job from nepotism because his dad like owns the company or something.
Of course.
So he's like an unqualified tyrannical boss.
Like I said, clueless tyrannical boss. I could definitely see Alan Tudyk doing that and doing
Tudyk is from Firefly. He played, I believe his name was Wash in Firefly.
Yeah, he was one of the characters everybody loves so much. So of course Joss Whedon had to kill him off.
Yeah, in the movie, yeah.
In the movie, yeah. It's like, yeah.
So yeah, other people might remember him. He was in the Dodgeball movie. He played the pirate.
Yeah, he played the pirate. He's just wonderful. Alan Tudyk is just a wonderful guy.
Yeah.
If there's any reason, like, I'm going to check this out, it's for Alan Tudyk, at least.
For me, it's like Alan Tudyk and Danny Pudi, like the two of them together. It's like, okay, that sold me. I'm sold.
And then there's Christine Kirk. I legit do not know who that is.
She's been in a few things, but nothing really that big. She actually worked with the person that's going to be acting as showrunner for Powerless before.
So anyway, she's playing Jackie, Dell's assistant, and a superhero fangirl. Okay.
So yeah, they put in the character description saying that she's like the one with like beefcake superhero posters all in her cubicle and stuff.
Oh my God.
And she worked there before in a different role, but when Dell comes aboard as their new boss, basically like says, okay, you're my assistant. And she's like, oh, what? So basically under duress as his assistant.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, so that sounds interesting. I don't know when that's going to premiere this fall, I guess.
It sounds like a fall show, either a fall or a mid-season.
Right.
We'll hear more when the mid-seasons or when the upfronts and stuff start coming up.
Definitely.
Sure
I'm looking forward to hearing and seeing more of this. Like actually seeing actual footage from this would be the most interesting thing.
Because there's this, and then there's Damage Control, which is like basically the same show but with the Marvel universe.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So it's interesting that DC and Marvel both have like the same type of show coming up.
It's also interesting. Danny Pudi is he's been in the MCU because he was in Winter Soldier,
right?
As a random Hydra or possibly Shield that got confused with everything going on in Winter Soldier.
He was Abed, who somehow ended up in that Shield facility.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's been in MCU and now he's going to be DC. So
yeah, now it's going to be DC. So. Interesting. So that about wraps it up for this week. This was another episode of TVE versus Marvel versus DC. I was your host, William Roerig. Tyson Gifford, editor-in-chief of TVEnthusiast, joined me tonight. Tyson, do you have any parting words, anything you want to plug?
Just check out the site, TVEnthusiast.com. You can see kind of all of our coverage, these shows as well as our regular podcast, which we record on Thursdays. We just did a podcast with Ed, our old friend and a contributor on the site, who came back and joined us to talk about all the shows coming up this spring. Or not all of them. We limited it down to. It still came out to almost 2 hours, but we cut it down significantly.
problem with those is those tend to be like our longest podcasts.
But it was a really fun conversation. We got off topic a lot, so
we did. Well, yeah, Ed was there, so it was like we just got to talking because, and yeah, it went long, but it's because we had a third person there. So it's somebody who hadn't been on the podcast in a long time, so it made it more fun.
So yeah, so you can check that out, and you can check out, our podcast as they come out every week. We record them on Thursdays. They're usually up really early on Friday. Usually, I'm posting them when it's still Thursday in Pacific time, but it's Friday and East Coast time by then. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Check out the site, TVEnthusiast.com.
Bye.
Bye.